So, when an invisible threat suddenly emerges, or a natural disaster hits without warning, what's the difference between order and total chaos? Well, it's not luck, it's a plan. Every nation needs a playbook for the unexpected, and today, we're going to unpack Malaysia's strategy for protecting its people. Let's dive in and see how it all works.
And this isn't just some hypothetical, you know? This quote from Malaysia's Director General of Health really drives home the sheer scale of the challenge. It's not just one thing. It's this constant pressure from infectious diseases, from natural disasters, and even from intentional threats like bioterrorism. The danger is real, and it comes from all sides.
And believe me, these threats are very real. This slide is just a short list of what Malaysia has already been through. You've got the Nipah virus, SARS, major floods, chemical spills, the list goes on. Each one of these events was a test, and each one taught some really tough, crucial lessons that have shaped how the country prepares for things today.
So, all of this history brings us to the big question for today's explainer. It's really not a matter of if another crisis will happen, it's a matter of when. So when that next one arrives, is the nation actually ready to handle it?
To answer that, here's our game plan. We'll look at the strategy itself, its core components, the teams that make it happen, and maybe most importantly, why a national playbook like this matters to every single one of us. All right, so the answer to that critical question lies in an official blueprint. Let's take a look at Malaysia's Dedicated Health Security Plan, the document that's designed to bring order in a time of crisis. Okay, so it's officially called the Malaysian National Strategic Plan for Emerging Diseases and Public Health Emergencies, but we're just going to call it MySED 2 for short. Now, the most important phrase here is all hazards. What that means is the plan isn't just for one specific flu virus. It's a broad, flexible framework built to handle any kind of public health threat, whether it's one we know about or something totally new.
Now, a plan this big didn't just appear out of thin air. It's been evolving for years. It all started with the regional strategy back in 2005, which then led to Malaysia's very first national plan, MySED-I. This version, MySED 2, is the next generation. It's been enhanced and expanded based on years of real-world experience.
And every great plan needs a clear vision, right? A North Star. And this one is all about creating a nation that can prevent, detect, and respond to emergencies. But notice the key words here: collective action and responsibility. This isn't just about what the government does. It's about a shared mission for everyone.
So that's the what and the why. But how does this thing actually work? Let's break down the core strategies that are really the engine of this whole plan.
The plan is built on these 8 distinct focus areas. Now, I know that might look a little complex at first glance, but just think of it as a 360-degree defense system. Altogether, these areas cover everything from getting ready on the ground and doing lab work to communicating with the public and working with other countries.
To make this a little easier to digest, we can bundle these 8 areas into 3 simple, logical functions. It's pretty straightforward, really. First, you have to see the danger coming. Second, you build your defenses. And third, you lead the response when a crisis actually hits.
Okay, Function 1, Seeing the Danger. This is all about early detection. The surveillance system is like a national radar, constantly scanning for unusual health events from all kinds of places. As soon as a potential threat gets flagged, the national lab network kicks into gear to figure out exactly what it is, whether it's a new virus, a bacteria, or even a chemical agent. Speed is everything here.
Next up is Function 2, Building the defenses. This is the proactive part, right? Getting ready before things go wrong. It involves making sure hospitals are prepared for a sudden rush of patients and training the response teams. It also includes this really crucial idea called the One Health approach. Basically, it recognizes that the health of people, animals, and the environment are all connected. This is so important for tackling diseases like rabies that jump from animals to humans.
And finally, Function 3, Leading the response. Look, when a crisis is underway, communication is everything. This means getting clear, trustworthy info out to the public to avoid panic and build cooperation. And because viruses don't stop for border control, working with regional and global partners is absolutely essential. Finally, it's about being committed to always learning, analyzing every drill and every real event to make the plan even better for next time. Now, a plan this comprehensive can't be handled by just one ministry. No way. It takes a coordinated, all-of-government approach to build a truly unified national defense.
This slide shows you the teamwork in action. Of course, the Ministry of Health leads the public health response. But for huge disasters, the National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, steps in to coordinate the whole shebang. The National Security Council handles serious security threats, and the Department of Veterinarian Services is on the front line for any animal-borne diseases. Every agency has a critical job to do.
So we've seen the plan and the players, but let's bring it all home. Why does a high-level government document like this actually matter to you, to me, to the average person? How does it connect to our safety?
Well, this slide paints a pretty stark picture. Without a plan, a crisis can mean delays, confusion, and systems just collapsing under the pressure. With a plan like MySED 2, the goal is the exact opposite. Faster containment, a health system that can bend but not break, minimal disruption to our lives, and, so importantly, clear information that cuts through the panic.
At the end of the day, it all boils down to coordination. A single, unified strategy means a more resilient response, which creates a stronger and ultimately safer nation for all of us. It means that when a crisis hits, there's a system ready to go to protect you, your family, and your community. And maybe the most important takeaway is that this work is never actually done. Preparedness isn't a box you can just check off and say, "We're finished." It's a constant cycle of planning, testing, learning from our mistakes, and adapting so we're ready for whatever comes next.
Which leaves us with a final, forward-looking question. This version of the plan was designed for the period ending in 2021. So as the world keeps changing, what's the next big threat we need to start thinking about, and how does this playbook need to evolve to meet it?